baby number the bottom jidrije namola ege dolodon jige dubum dadami janam don ro kujidanam jizambar thamjige do dagi choden do palden savel amar kadin chimbe bonen jisunde usundu jing odup saldo sam tabge tuji shaje rezudron jenje medub tuji bunjumba serju lumbo dabro jibigu shaje jabe shabla chatsalo chabon kolo jibe jabadon jenong gaba samba sange tong kanla kandi tela tertemba zumba jerezela chatsalo seje jawa damji ji bombo chikdo ba seje kunje baljurbe chambe yangla chatsalo kanshi tonne shinje ponyala so dawan tani jojerje bado je janla chatsalo korwale do tarema to daraye jige drol dore na wan namlo drol droma yamla chatsalo Nalendaru to damsi, tenju zamjin kalashi, shanti dewa shi chawe lama de la chatsalo je jadamje zibe jayan badugin jele drube tu je samedile zibe domga wa jamge lame shablo go jansa. So depsa lama kitsewa, jesu sunshi lama kitsewa, shinji lafshi lama kitsewa. Tengen kao lama kitsewa, tsuldri zigdan lama kitsewa, tuji zubshi lama kitsewa. Cheno lama chinse de cheno chenla terchen dani lama jambal de cheno chuku thala mingi kolo namsam kang chaba nizum taje tambe meba tegun gombe suzuchi jase tu namdar sabjin jase thala nirso ju yapjik nile lashen thala rewa machi kanyenta ninsen kundu jamen kube samjin chiji tukji shu chungse menye menje sirni rangi nyepi lebise tadung kenye major pado chapshan solwar majoro chi Hong Ujian Yujin of Johnson, Pema Gazara Dombula, and Chogi Modern Pema Cordo Kandre Mambe Goro Chijis or Ta Dujin, Luxury Guru Pema Sede Kusum Lama, Suji Dojetala, Chopamonjum or Drop Saldo, so Jerubajala saw them Gajim Barjim Mujin Dunjin, Sambadruba, and Chodan Tomon or Drop Saldo, so. Great. So, Rashid the Lake again. So good to see that many of you decided to continue studying the sutras with us. I'm so happy about it. I believe we have complete beginners here too. And I apologize because I cannot spend so much time curating the talk, you know, for you, for what you need right now. That being said, these sutras actually they are to be studied by beginners. I mean, from the beginning, not by beginners, that's condescending, but from the beginning, you know, like the first sutra, we studied the Sutra of Impermanence, right? And then was purification, basically karma, Sutra of Karma. These are actually to be known from the beginning. When you start your path, you are supposed to know this. These sutras and their meanings, they should lay down the path for us. Because just to look at the Buddha and to say, I want to become like that, that is very vague, you know. And between that statement, I want to become Buddha, and the reality that you become Buddha, there is a long long gap of practical applications. It's a path, right? So these sutras, they lay down the foundation of our path. And whatever path that we choose or whatever path that we follow, they should be according to the teachings of these sutras. They should be, like that. So I just wanted to assure you that it's not so far away from what a beginner should know, or from what someone should know from the beginning, when you're starting the path. And so many of you have so diligently sent me your homeworks. Thank you so much. And it is really, I must say it is really humbling to see so many of you going through so many different things, having so many different types of lifestyle, and you're so busy. We're all so busy, yet you manage to squeeze 3 hours out of your busy life. And that is so, I'm so thankful. Just because I don't reply myself doesn't mean that. It's just that I have like an allergy towards emails, I don't know why. When I see an email, even if it's very important, I have to wait a day or two to reply. I just don't know why. So it's always like that. And yes, so let's begin. As before, we contemplate on Buddha Shakyamuni. As I explained last time, we try to sit straight. As Buddha said in the Sutra, those who sit straight mentally and physically, and concentrate on the image of the Buddha. So just like that, we will sit straight. We concentrate on the image of Buddha. And this one is particular, very specific. This visualization is visualization of the Buddha at the time of his enlightenment. All the statue that we have, where Buddha, right hand touching the ground, left hand in meditation posture, that was the time when he entered into nirvana. He gained nirvana. And so it is. To be very conceptualizing, that was the time when Buddha went beyond time. Sort of from that moment, Buddha went beyond the realm of impermanence and permanence, change or no change, existing and not existing. So it's a very specific moment. It's a very auspicious moment. And that moment has so much blessing. And it's not even a moment, actually. But we have to say that because that's how we experience. But what Buddha experienced is definitely not this. We know that what Buddha experienced is not this. So it is. We sit, and in front of us is the great Bodhi tree. Bodhi tree appears on this earth only when there is Buddha, only when there is Dharma. And when Buddha Dharma will be gone, Bodhi tree will also be gone. So it's a very specific type of tree. So under the Bodhi tree, Shakyamuni Buddha, we visualize seated on the kusha grass, his gaze fixed on us, each one of us. And with full radiance of enlightenment. Just that, we will watch that. Please. Thank you so much. So we will discuss the sutra Sipapovedo. What is the translation in English? Moment, I have it here. The Noble Mahayana Sutra of Transmigration through Existences. This one. So the first sutra we studied was about Sutra of Impermanence, and the second one was about purification, and also about karma. And now this one is about, actually this one is about karma too. Here in this sutra, karma is given as a karma is mentioned in the context of transmigration, rebirth. So in this sutra, then we touch two very important teachings of Gautama Buddha, rebirth and karma. I think I will first, since today there is so much to discuss today, and I'm a bit anxious myself. I think I will first do the auto transmission first. I just read through the Tibetan. And like I said before, this also I have received from Dongsa Khyentse Rinpoche. Jagarketu Arya Bhava Samkrani Nama Mayana Sutra Pyukud Pabasiba Pavashibutavajmedo Sangadati Samatam Jalacha Lo Digitaviti Jinachum Jabu Kamna Ometsal Chakalanda Kane Pana Gelonton Nijanga Chui Gelong Gilichumuda Janismachimbo Rab the Mambo the Tabju the Jude Denijum Dende Korjadon to Mayon so Korjing Dinchi Tene Chutende Sambracha Tomargava Pardikava Tamargava Tenisam Citizen Madabu Zoyon Stavayon Sama 양다 버텐데 테이제 율 마가데 잡어 소전 수진닝고 잡어 컵지 통계를 전번에 중대 잡어 저버 전보다 잡어 투 전부 메살 칼라와다 좀 된데 칼라와 데르송데 친네 좀 된데 잡로 그거 차살데 렌숨 거와 제네 초지도 도고 조지도 도네 율 마가데 잡어 소지 소장 수진닝고 좀 된데라 되겠지 솔도 좀 된데 제다르나 레 지싱 싹바 가네 유링도 가바 Gumbe tuji tsena nevernation yilang onto jorola to jetamje tongbala je darale nam chap metsal warada tige sowada chomdendeji yul magade jabusu jang sujin ningbo la tige ka chaldo jabusu budda de pena mishi nyal milam na yulji pume sangmo da lenjik do yongsu cheba mila te nyal wale sen yulji pume sangbo de tena jabuchembo dijinyam de sem milam ji yulji pume sangmo te yotam solba chomdende teni machi laso chomdendeji ka za jabuchembo dijinyam de sem Rana Gangmelamgi Yuji Bumizamo Langomberchembe Mideji Kebe Rangshin Jinam Soba Chomdende Dene Mala the Chile Dojana Chomdende Milamji Yuji Pumesamoya Shindo Machishin Machishin Meme Lana Tedan also Jobata Kalachi did meeting a pongshin to be covered the Jola Jomden Chicago Japan, the Chibasu Jewetaba, the Medem by a Mikizun and Tona, Yi Devara Jurvesun, the Umbrashin. Para Jurne, just a chaparro, just a chaparro, Kun Chaparro, Kun Chaparro, the Shalachon, the Shetan, the Timulichu Luda, Timulichu Luda, Nata, Yichi, number Duje, late number Duje per Jurne, Gako. sorry, Gabani, Sharchos to Never mind, Lochos in mine, Nuchos of mine, Sanchos of mine, Think to mine, although mine, Shotsam Nams to Tent, Never mind, Tushi, Chitam Shina, Chive, Tudan, Chive, Tudan, never never said Tedan. Kalwa dan dabe le zene number sheba tama gabe se dida de perna nyal nyal wale sebe mi yuji pume samotavro lete yila ngondo joro jabochumbo tedar number sheba tama gach ke charatok be number sheba thangbo yang nani lai nangdo yang nani mi nangdo yang nani lamai je nangdo yang nani semnya nyawe namso yang nani tudur namso yang nani ida namso jungwa joro jabochumbo number sheba thangbo de gama thado khana number mimbara nyawara jorbe ngomba nombara jorba ngomba te dan kawa nya kawa dawe simbi gyu chongo jabo chombo tela che kang yang jigden din jigden paro do pawa yang mela chipo dan jawara ngomba yang yodo jabo chombo tela kang number sheba thama gane chi jabo chombo number sheba thama gobe se yang kang do mi do number sheba thangbo ke charto ba jungwe se yang kang ne jang meong de jidir jeno ngoni de bejero jabo chombo tela number sheba thamane number sheba thame dong de chipo wane chipo ne chipo dong le ne leji dong number sheba thangbo ne number sheba thangbo dong kewa ni kewe dong la le nam chu meza war ngomba yang yodo jabo chombo number sheba thangbo kewe charto ba gama tha do barma je bar khang number me nyong war juru ba ngom besem jang chu ngom besem bi gyu jong chom den de je ka zal de je de war sheba de je sune tembe shen de ge ka zal do de datam je ming zam de che zam ne ba yin jebal ni shen juru ba na jabra jawa yoma yin ming ni khang da khang gi su chon nam khang tang khang je ba thela te ni yoma yin din ni chon nam chuni do mingi mingi tongba de mingi yoma yin ming me pa ye chon nam gu mingi yong su jabra che chon nam de da yomin de tokba le ni kun do jo khang ge tongba ro nam do ba tokba te ya din na mi khang mi gi su ni thong o che yang da sikbe kang song ba jigden lobe nga chen la kunjob dembar the song so cho ne thong she khang da do dember do den je ba tene de nam da be sar lo da dembe ka za do mi gi su na me thong jing yi di chön na me re ba tene demba cho yin de tela jigden mi posso tela jigde mi posso chomne de de ka sa yul ma ga de boso ju ju ning bo de chi samba da ga no de da da me da ma de research be jigde ne chomne de sumul ngombar da pa sipa fi de ba ju do so ja ga ji kembo jina mitra dang dan shila tang shu chen ju lo zo pende yi shi de jur jing shu de ka ke sar ji gi chang chu ne tan la pa ba. Well, that was longer than I expected. So although this is about karma, I must say it is not your usual sort of sutra that teaches karma. It is actually looking at karma from the highest view of emptiness. But of course, we're not saying that the nature of karma is emptiness. That is not the point of this text. We're not talking about the emptiness of the karma. We're just talking about the karma itself. And well, the sutra, as you can see from the beginning, thus have I heard at one time, the Blessed One was dwelling in Kalantaka Nivapa at Venuvana near Rajagriha. Again, when you look at the beginning, there is homage to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Remember, according to the rules laid down by the Tibetan king, if the text belongs to the sutra section, the translator must at the beginning make such homage, saying homage to Buddha, all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, because the sutra texts are mainly discourses between Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the monks and the nuns. So, but mainly between Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So from this, we can sort of know that yes, that this text will also be a dialogue, a question and answer between Buddha and one of his students. And this sutra was taught in Kalandaka Nivasana or Kalandaka Nivapa. This was how to say, a piece of land, and the name Kalandaka Nivapa means the dwelling place of Kalandaka. People have so much, not people have so much, there are so many discussions about this. Where is this place? I think the translator of this text have decided that Kalandaka means squirrels, and Kalandaka Nivapa means a place where squirrels live. Almost all Tibetan sutras have the bird Kalandaka, the dwelling place of the bird Kalandaka, and so in some dictionaries you find that Kalandaka could be squirrel or could be a bird like magpie. So we're not sure about this. Some sources say that Kalandaka was actually name of a man who first offered this place to a non-Buddhist community, and later he sort of met Buddha and he wanted to offer it to Buddha, and through some means he managed to get the land back and offer it to Buddha, and the king Bimbisara built temple there. Anyway, so that is the place, just for you to know that it is a real place in India, and I think you can still visit it. It is near Rajgriha. Now Rajgir, the present name, Hindi name is Rajgir. It's also very, very important ancient Buddhist kingdom, and so the king of Rajgir is Bimbisara, and he's also the one who is requesting this teaching, asking the Buddha this question here. This person, those of you who are in BP2, you have heard this, when Gautama Buddha, he left palace, and Siddhartha, he left palace and to in search of the path to enlightenment. And on his way, he passed through Rajgriha. There he met the king. The king saw him, this really, really gentle, very dignified, extremely good-looking monk, and he was interested, and they exchange pleasantries and talk with each other. And then the king find out that, oh, this is the son of Shuddhodana, King Shuddhodana. And Bimbisara, first of all, Bimbisara and Siddhartha forms a very strong bond, friendship right then and there. And Bimbisara also requested Siddhartha to please not to leave the palace, and you can please return back to your kingdom, or you stay here and you rule my kingdom with me. I give half of my kingdom to you. And anyhow, he was very close to Buddha, to Siddhartha from the beginning. And but Buddha didn't stay with him, of course, and Siddhartha didn't stay, and he left. And Bimbisara promised that when you reach your nectar, when you reach your goal, I want to, please, I want you to teach me, and I want to be, one of your student and sponsor. So, true to his words, he build this monastery for Buddha on that land, Kalandaka Nivapa, on that land, upon that land, and that monastery is also a very important monastery. So many sutras are taught there. Bimbisara is also the father of Ajatashatru. Again, the BP2 people, you might remember him. He was very, very important king. And after Buddha passed away, when the monks wanted to gather all of the teachings of the Buddha, he was the sponsor. He sponsored 500 arhats to gather in secrecy. And he sponsored everything, their dwelling, their food, so that they don't have to go anywhere. And they have peace and protection. But as a youth, as a child, Ajatashatru was very ambitious, malicious even. When he was conceived, astrologist told the father that, you will have a son, but this son will kill you in future. So the father named the son unborn enemy. So that's what it means, Ajatashatru. And so true enough, the son does kill the father, Bimbisara, but he comes to regret and finally goes to Buddha and starts following the teachings of the Buddha. So this king, he goes to the Buddha, to where the Buddha was. Buddha was near Rajgriha in Kalandaka Nivapa, or in Venuvana. Venuvana is the name of the forest, I think. There, the Buddha was giving teaching to thousands of monks and all kinds of different audience. And in the beginning, you see, if you're looking at the English translation 1.2, he expounded the wholesome conduct that is virtuous in the beginning, virtuous in the middle, and virtuous in the end. And that is excellent in meaning, excellent in words, distinctive, perfect, completely pure, thoroughly refined. This is the description of Dharma. It basically means Buddha was teaching Dharma. In the recollection of the triple gem, during the recollection of Dharma, these are the words that the Buddha spoke, that such is the Dharma. Although the English says he expounded the wholesome conduct that is virtuous in the beginning, actually it's just he expounded the Dharma. He expounded the Dharma, which was wholesome in conduct, virtuous in the beginning, virtuous in the middle, virtuous in the end, and like that. And if you're interested in knowing the meaning of each of these terms, like virtuous in the end, or excellent in meaning, they have an explanation. They have many explanations, and you should, yes, you should read, or you should receive teachings on this. You know, if someone is teaching the recollection of the Triple Gem Sutras. And when the Buddha was giving such a teaching, such wonderful teaching, which is completely pure and thoroughly refined teaching, the great king Shrenya Bimbisara of Magadha, he went to see the Buddha. And he bowed down at the feet of the Buddha, circumambulated 3 times, and set to one side. Then the king asks the Buddha these questions. He says, Bhagavan, how long how does an action performed and accumulated, having ceased and ceased for a long while, manifest in the mind when the moment of death is imminent? Please keep yourself muted. This is such an important question. I don't even know where to start because there's just so many things jumping into my mind all at once. Okay. Now, we don't believe in a self. Buddhists do not believe in a self. Do we feel like we have a self? Yes. That's about it. Because of that, many non-Buddhist schools have criticized Buddhism, criticized Buddha, saying, of all the mistakes Buddha have made, one big mistake is this, that he believed in life after death, rebirth, but he did not believe in a self. So then their question is, so then they think, well, if there is no self, who is going from this life to the next? That is the question. If there is no self, how come there is a life after death? If there is no self, who is doing the karma and who is experiencing the karma? If there is no self, then when someone experienced the karma of this, in this life, because of their accumulation of karma in past life, then that is similar to me experiencing someone else's karma. Between me and someone else, we're not one person ordinarily, and I shouldn't be experiencing his or her karma. And I should only experience my own karma. But you, Buddhist, you don't have a me, you don't have an I or a self. So you understand what I'm trying to say. So they say the whole notion, the whole teaching of karma is lost on you, even though you believe that there is karma and so on. But when analyzed, you fall apart. Your philosophy falls apart, because how can there be karma without a self? How can there be a rebirth without a self? Who is being reborn then? So there you have a very, very fundamental sort of difference between the Buddhist idea of karma and a non-Buddhist sort of idea, teachings of karma. Very different. Then, so this is the question the king asked. Now here, he asked the Buddha, when someone accumulates karma today, let's say I make offering of a butter lamp, That is a good karma, right? Good karma. I offer it. Tomorrow, butter lamp is gone. It's all exhausted, finished. The karma is all, the action is also gone. I'm doing something else. I'm sleeping, walking, whatever. I'm not offering butter lamp. So the action is gone. The action of offering butter lamp passed. Now the king, he thought, well, this man offered butter lamp today, and then after 20, 30, 40, 50 years, let's say this person is going to experience a great fortune. But how does that happen? He thought. Why is there such huge gap between the cause and the effect? You understand? Because when we think about a seed and a flower, a seed and a seedling, I put a seed into the ground, cover it, water it, and then there will be seedling. And between the seed and the seedling, there is no gap, so to speak, It is a seed, then it turns into seedling, and that's it. There is no, like, I put the seed here today, tomorrow I check, there is no seed, okay. And after 5 years, there is a seedling. If that would happen, it would be very strange, isn't it? When we think about it, it would be so strange if I put milk in a container, and I don't even know how people make curd, but whatever, you put something sour to make it curd, and then I leave it. And tomorrow I open it, it's empty. Gone, no milk, no curd, nothing. Okay, no problem. And after 5 months, one day I open it, there is curd. That is the milk I laid down 5 months ago. Now, if that would happen in ordinary world, it is like, it's nothing short of miracle, right? So the king, you see how intelligent he is. So he thought about this, about karma. He thought, well, both are seed, both are cause. So he thought, well, when I put a seed, if there is a result, if there is a shoot coming out, it has to come out right after, within a day or two, there has to be something there and it comes out. Whereas karma, he thought, wow, that is a strange thing. I offer butter lamp today. So that is the action. The offering butter lamp is the action. That is the karma. And it is done. It is done for 1 year, 2 years, maybe 1, 2 lives. And afterwards, the result comes. And he thought, how does that happen? The seed is gone long time ago. Result is now. What is there in between? Or is there anything in between at all? How does this type of cause and effect functions? It's such a profound question. Wow. I mean, for me, I'm so amazed at the intelligence of this king, because I would never be able to conceive such a deep understanding of cause and effect, and even think about asking such a thing. Oh, this is so intelligent, this king. So then, yes, so, and not only that, well, he here gives us a particular moment of experiencing karma. For example, let's say, so here he talks about the karma that will ripen at the time of death, meaning the karma of the next life now. So he's asking, I do something today, and let's say I do something to be reborn in an animal realm, and that karma is finished now, it's done. And then I live maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years. The time of death comes. And when the time of death comes, then the karma to be born as animal will awaken. and I will die, and then I will go towards the animal realm where I am to be born. So his question is this: how did the karma survive so long? Where did it survive? How did that happen? And especially, see, he understands emptiness. He's saying, especially since all compounded phenomena are empty in nature, how are actions not lost? How do they keep, remain? Oh, the Buddha gives answer. He says, great king, it is like this. I'll give you an example. Say a man falls asleep and dreams that he is together with a beautiful woman, most beautiful woman in the land. And then he wakes up. Now the thing is that there is no such woman in the land. He's just dreaming. He's just dreaming this most beautiful woman that he could imagine in his land, or on this earth. And he wakes up now, and he thinks about that woman, and he misses that woman. He he's almost like he's in love with that woman that he dreamt once. So the question is, what do you think? Does that woman, beautiful woman from the dreamland, exist? The king says, no, of course not. Then he asks, what do you think? The person who dreamt such who dreamt this sort of dream woman, who saw this woman in his dream, and then is now attached to this non-existent woman. Do you think he is a wise person? He said, he is not. Because the king says, the most beautiful woman in the land from the dream is utterly non-existent and cannot be observed. You cannot meet such a woman. So he is bound to be miserable and exhausted. He is going to, if the more he is fixated, obsessed with that woman, he's going to just destroy himself. He's going to be miserable because it is an impossible phenomenon. It just cannot be. Then the Buddha says, great king, childish and unlearned beings in the same way become fixated on pleasant forms that they see with their eyes. So ordinary beings, they see something they like, a beautiful form, and they focus on that, and then they generate so much desire, and then they are completely obsessed, and then through such desire, obsession, they accumulate karma. Karma out of attachment, karma out of anger, karma out of ignorance, with their body, speech, and mind. Now these karma, being compounded in phenomena, they are impermanent, right? They cease to exist after they are accumulated. Having ceased, now this is very important. He says, when the action is done, it's gone, he says. It doesn't remain anywhere, not in the east, not in the south, in the west, or in the north. It does not remain above, below, or in the intermediate directions. Nowhere is that karma anymore. Think about it. Like yesterday, you may have criticized somebody, out of afflictions. That karma is gone. Not gone, but gone. It's impermanent, and you will get a result, maybe in this life or the next life, whenever, after 5 years, 10 years. Now, then for a seed, when you put into the ground, until the shoot comes out, there has to be a seed in the ground. For a milk to turn into curd, until it turns into curd, there has to be a milk in the vessel. But karma, you accumulate the karma, Buddha says it's nowhere, not in the east, not in the south, not in the west. It does not remain anywhere. But when the time of death comes, when the moment of death approaches, the karma of this life will finish. However long lifespan you have because of your previous karma, that will be done now. It will finish. And then sort of the karma of this life will finish, and you will experience the last moment of this life, the last moment of your consciousness of this life. Beyond that, a next karma will start, he says. A next karma will start. During, where was this next karma before? Buddha says, nowhere. Not in the east, not in the west, not in intermediate direction, nowhere. But after the impact of one karma finishes, the impact of next karma will begin. Just like when we wake up, sort of let's say a married man. The example is of a man. It can be a woman, doesn't matter. Married woman, dreams of a beautiful man. But when she wakes up, the same useless man is there, sort of whoever she's married to, he's still there. During her dream, where was he? Nowhere. Not under the table, not in the house. She doesn't even remember that guy. But when she wakes up, he is there. So similarly, Buddha says, very much exactly like that. During the time of death, the karma that's going to bring the next rebirth will appear, will arise. Sort of, it will give result. Great King, that is how, as the final consciousness seizes, then the next consciousness will arise now. So last moment of this life, when it finishes, something new will begin now. That one. So whether you are, there arises the first consciousness belonging to the next life. Whether it is to be born in a god realm, human realm, asura, hell, animal, preta, whatever. So as soon as the last moment of this life finish, the first moment belonging to the next life, not the first moment of next life, but the first moment belonging to the next life, meaning you will now go on the journey to a next life, towards a next life. So that one will start. Now, well, again, we have to discuss karma a little bit. Ordinarily, in external world, all actions have a result, right? All actions have result. Meaning, when you do something, there will be an impact somewhere, somehow. Or I think it's similar to how they say, like, the energy never dies. The energy always transforms into the next, into whatever it is the next, but it just keeps on passing into a new form. That's a very good understanding of phenomena. And that is very crucial very important and useful in understanding karma and rebirth. Of course, ordinarily, we are only talking about the physical world when we're talking about things like energy never dies, or whatever action you do, you perform, there will be a result and impact somewhere, somehow. But here, of course, we are many steps beyond the physical world. We're talking about sort of mental phenomena, right? We are talking about mental phenomena, mind and mental factors. But actually, if you could accept that whatever you do, there will be a result. Whatever happens, there is a result. There's that things don't vanish completely. There's always some result. Then sort of it becomes very easy to accept karma. But of of course, ordinary world do not have the burden of believing in a consciousness that is separate from the body. So then whatever they explain, whatever that they whatever it is all subsumed, included in this life, the appearance of this life. The moment this life is done, it's gone, it's finished. But so they don't have the burden of talking about next life. So and then things are, for example, when you say something like, what about childhood? Why does some have disease? Why do some suffer a lot? Or why do they say, oh, it's all under environment. It's all different causes and conditions, but not necessarily nothing to do with the person themselves. And then a lot is dependent on environment and how the person is brought up at childhood. So much focuses on that, as if everything, 90% things depend on that. They do, of course, but not entirely. According to karma, when we talk about karma, then then this is not the only life. First moment of this life is not the first moment of our creation, so to speak, not creation, even our sort of beginning. It's not a beginning. It came after the last moment of past lives, right? So then there is this past, and then from here there is going to be a next, and a lot of things that happen in this life, is due to my karma, due to my own karma, and a lot of things that will happen in next life is also due to my karma, and a lot of things that will happen in this life later on is also due to my own karma. Because if you believe in a consciousness and you don't believe in karma, I mean, if you believe in a consciousness that is other than the body, and then you don't believe in a karma, oh, I wonder how you will explain things. I think you will need like a creator, God or something then. You will need a third agent, someone else who is doing things to you, for you, with you. Then you have questions like, where do I come from? Why did I come here? How will this life be? Why are things happening to me in this life in this way? Yes. What brings these phenomena, these individuals to me? How long will this life be? And then where? to answer all that. The moment you believe in like a consciousness that is independent of physical form, you will have all these questions. So when we talk about karma, inevitably we have to talk about a consciousness that is free from physical form, that can remain without this body. And also when we believe in a consciousness that is free from physical form, we have to talk about karma. Yeah, and we have to talk about rebirth. But I just want to say these things because these are not the issue here. These are not the topic here, but these are extremely important, and these are sort of here. It is assumed that you know these things. Now here the question is not how do things happen? Why do things happen? Not at all. Here the question is, where do karma remain? Buddha says, oh, each person have gathering of karma as huge as mountains from this life, from past life, 100,000 billions of lives. Where do they remain? What happens with them until they give result? I always have this, whenever I think about gathering of karma, I feel like I'm carrying a huge bag, that is full of sort of karma, and it is huge and it is heavy. But that's good, helpful maybe to remember that, to picture that, but that's not the reality. So now this is such an important karma question. Where do karma remain until it ripens? What happens with karma until it ripens? Oh, wow, this is such a big issue, and there's just so many debates regarding this question. Some people, like the Vaibhasika schools, they believe that when you accumulate a karma, a phenomena is born within you that is going to make sure that you will experience the result until you destroy that phenomena through purification or regret, like that, And they call, I only know the Tibetan term right now, thopa. Thopa is to obtain. And they actually believe that it is a phenomenon that is born within you. It's not mind, it's not body, it's a third sort of party. Deminduje. Well, I'm not going to go into that. Anyway, so they believe that. Then similarly, the Sutrantika schools, they believe that because in the sutras, Buddha had said, and here too, in this sutra too, Buddha says this. Wait, this is actually kind of funny. Buddha said, Shumisa. Without being lost. Here the translation, they did translation this if you're reading the English, 1.14, this paragraph. At the end of this paragraph, the Buddha says, yet actions manifest without being lost. Without being lost. This term when they heard that Shumiza, they thought that Buddha is talking about a phenomena. Buddha is talking about a phenomena that will be born within us when we accumulate the karma. And this phenomena will make sure that we will experience the result. And they named it, well, here the translation is not conducive to use it as a name without being lost, but the Tibetan is perfect. Chu Mizawa. Chu Miza meaning basically that it will not be lost. It will not be meaningless. So they really believe that there is a phenomena that will be born, and they give the example like this. They said it is something like a bill, like a contract, and the example is quite fun. It's actually quite interesting, you know. So they said, say I have 1,000 euro, and a friend comes to me and says, I want to I want you to lend me your money. And so I give my 1,000 euro to that person. Now, during that time, my friend writes down like a contract saying, I have borrowed 1,000 euro from this man, and when blah blah during such and such time I will pay, and signs, and I sign, and it's done now. So as long as I have that paper, I can theoretically say, yes, I have 1,000 euro, even though I don't have it. I don't have the money, it's gone. I gave it to that person. But because I have the contract, this is a real example, I mean, not, they don't say euro or anything, but they say, like as long as I have that paper, theoretically, I have the money. So they say like that karma, when you accumulate the karma and the karma is gone, it's impermanent, it's gone, right? It passes, and then just like a paper of loan, something is born within us that will make sure that the karma is not lost. It will give result. This is another school. Then comes the mind-only school. Mind-only school says, oh, all those are rubbish. What is that? We either have body and mind. There is no third party. There's no third thing, sort of phenomena. So if karma exists, it has to either be the body or the mind. Body doesn't make sense. You die, it's left in this life. So it's the mind. So then they say that the mind-only school says, mind is the thing, phenomenon. That's mind is the one thing that can actually carry the karma, because mind comes from the last life to this life, and then will go to the next life. So only the mind can do it. So they believe that a specific kind of mind called alaya, because they know that, different types of mind we cannot trust. For example, eye consciousness, it doesn't continue. If I lose my eyes, eye faculty, I no longer have eye consciousness. I cannot see. So they say, that's not the type of mind we are talking about. This eye consciousness will not travel to the next life. No. What travels to the next life is this awareness within each one of us. That awareness goes to the next life. And that awareness is unchanging and truly existent. That is really there. That awareness is really there. So every time you accumulate karma, today I harm somebody, one karma on my mind, tomorrow I help somebody, second karma on my, so mind becomes like a vault, like a bank, and karma becomes like things that you gather, This one makes sense to a lot of people, even Madhyamikans. Vajrayana is full of things like this. Well, of course, Madhyamikan, the difference is that Madhyamikan says, yes, I mean, some Madhyamikan people will say, yes, karma, it leaves its impact or imprint on our mind, and then we will give result in future, but the mind is not truly existent. The mind is not truly existent at all. That is the main difference. But the idea is very similar. And in the Vajrayana, when you go into Vajrayana, very, a lot of things like, how to say, so very similar, that it is the mind that has the imprint of the karma, or the seed of the karma. It's almost like if you understand as a seed, it's easy, like a real sort of like something, like a seed, or an imprint of the karma on the mind, whatever. This is very, very popular. This is so popular and not entirely untrue. In Tibet, the great Tsongkhapa, Jamgon Tsongkhapa, who started the Gelugpa tradition, he taught something very unique. No one ever did. No Buddhist teacher have taught. I don't know of any. No one has found any. Well, I mean, of course, he say that this is from, or his lineage, students say that this is from Indian tradition. This is authentic, but it's very unique. The idea is this. He said, because, for example, in sutra like this, where Buddha says, here, just read here. 1.15. Can you look at that? 1.15. Yeah. I'm sorry about the other languages. I maybe you have, or maybe the translator can locate this in other translations. Wow, we have 4 languages here today. Huh? Every day. Thank you so much to the translators. You should know this, all of you. They're doing this completely voluntarily, and they're translating the sutras first by writing it down so that you can have something to read. And right now also they're translating. So this is so kind. So here, 1.15, the Buddha said, great king, no sooner does the first consciousness pertaining the birth cease, then there arises without any interruption the mind stream in which the experiences of karmic fruition manifest. So, I'm paraphrasing, right? I'm not really, he doesn't really say it exactly like this, but that's what it means. He says, look, here Buddha says that the first consciousness pertaining birth cease, then there arise the result, whatever the next. So he said, when you accumulate the karma is gone in the next day or next hour, next moment. It doesn't remain. Like whatever it is, eating, talking, it's gone. But as it ceases, as it sort of vanishes, its cessation is born, he said. And the phenomena and its cessation is separate. He said, so the cessation is the real cause of the result. That's very much like saying, that's very much like saying, when the milk becomes curd, right? When the milk becomes curd, that's like saying, well, you added this sour thing into the milk, and that made the milk stop being a milk. So the last moment of milk, it ceases, it's gone. And that cessation of milk is the main cause of the curd. Do you follow me? Yes. Anyway, I'm just, that's what I have in my mind. So I just want to say that. So he said that. He said, so basically what it means is that, let's say I offer butter lamb today, and the karma of butter lamb, the cessation of that karma is within me. And this cessation of karma will continue. The first cessation of karma, you will give birth to the second cessation of karma, third cessation of karma, like this. And until I get the result, the cessation of karma is within me. In that sense, it's very kind of like how the Vibhasika and Sutrantika says, kind of similar, that there is something within us. When you accumulate karma, something is born within us that will continue until the result gives. But when you read Chandrakirti, or when you read this type of sutra, Buddha says, it's nowhere. Not in the east, not in the south, not in the west. It's nowhere. The karma is nowhere existing before the result comes. And this is so bold. This is so if someone will say this, if someone will tell you, oh, you accumulate karma, you experience result, where is the karma in between? Nowhere. Without you understanding anything, if you believe that, that will be a blind faith, a total blind faith. But when you understand that any other explanation is wrong, when you accumulate a karma, and until the result is given, if you say anything, something is born in you, karma is here, karma is there. If you say anything, you will be mistaken. That's why you say nothing. That's why you say, oh, it doesn't exist anywhere. I don't know. When the karma is done, one day there is a result. What is there in between? I don't know. Chandrakirti says this. Oh, he is the brave one. He said this. He said, I want to recite two stanzas of his. Regarding karma, he said, the Buddha have taught, the Bhagavan have taught this. Bhagavan saw that unfavorable result or suffering, basically. Suffering comes from negative karma. When you do something bad happens to you. That's what Buddha saw. And happiness, joy, favorable result comes from positive karma. When you do something good. But one who is not concerned about positive or negative karma, one who goes beyond that, gains liberation. That's also what Buddha saw, he said. And this is so mind-boggling. And especially the karma itself is so difficult to understand. Chandrakirti said, Buddha have already said that ordinary beings, for most people, it's best not to analyze karma. It's not doable. You will never understand. Just like emptiness, just like Prajna Paramita, karma is so profound. Then, in another part of, I'm actually quoting from Entering the Middle Path. And we will study this in the Bodhisattva project. Those of you who are there now, I think the Bodhisattva project 1, we are finishing the ways of Bodhisattva. There's still some small things I want to do, and then we will go into this text. Wow, it's a really, really wonderful text. Then on another part, he said, because the karma doesn't truly exist, there is no true cessation of the karma. Hence, you do not need any base for the karma to remain and sustain until the result comes. That is, even if there is no alaya, no nothing, you don't need any such phenomena as like a bag in which you put and carry your karma. He said, you don't need that. You don't need anything. You accumulate the karma, and in your continuum, this life or the next life, one day there will be a result. In between, where is the karma? Nowhere. It's gone. Yes, this is so, I really appreciate this braveness. You know, when I first heard it, it was like a lightning hit in my head, because I thought, what? That's strange, because we are so fixated on how cause and effect should work, because we always think in terms of form. Even our examples is like rice and rice seedling, you know, like a milk and curd, and I don't know, egg and chicken. Our examples are all physical phenomena, and we expect everything to be like this, whereas karma, which is not a physical phenomena, doesn't necessarily have to follow the same rules, you know. What I'm trying to say, what am I trying to say now? Yes, Buddha said, then here, I know you will have a lot of questions, so I will give you more time. Also, I don't want to just blabber, because this is such a big issue, big debates, 1,000-year-old debate, still sort of undecided going on, and for good reason, because this is the backbone of Buddhism, right? That Buddhist teaching that everything comes from causes and condition. Well, okay, it's easy to understand with the physical phenomena. What about that of mind? What about karma, right? Okay, you can say everything comes from causes and condition, but ordinarily, until there is a result, or just before the result, the cause has to be there. Whereas the karma, it's a mystery. So then there is so many explanations like this. And even when Buddha said it so clearly, people cling to few words saying, that's what Buddha meant, you know, and they explain it saying, oh, after you accumulate karma, something will be born within you, and that will make sure the karma will bring result. Now, those who say this are great masters, really realized beings. And for sure, saying such a thing have liberated so many beings, no doubt. But when all of them are Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, great masters, and yet they say different things, at some point you have to slap yourself and think, what does Buddha say? I want to know, what does Buddha say? Okay, that's all good for all these masters. What does Buddha say? I want to know that. So then you have to read into sutras like this. And you have to listen to people like Chandrakirti. Or you read through the Entering the Middle Path. So much. And he wrote his own commentary. He wrote the text and he wrote a self-commentary, which is this thick. So, but even then we interpret his words saying, yeah, he said it, but actually it meant like this and that. he wrote his own commentary. He said, this is what I mean to say. He wrote the root text in his own commentary. And it is so much dependent on sutras. The entire text is dependent on Dashabhumika Sutra. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. So what Buddha said is this: in front of your eyes, he said, it doesn't remain anywhere. Not in the east, not in the south, west, blah, blah, nowhere. But the moment of death appears, sort of the last moment of this life, the next moment, result of a karma will appear. And he said just that. And maybe, yeah, but I really understand why people need something, you know, because it's really strange. I don't know what to do with that. And I don't know what to do with purification when I think about it. You know, you accumulate karma. Let's say I kill a cat or a rat or a whatever today. And ordinarily, you know, right? Ordinarily, I am like, oh, I have negative karma in me, like as if it's like something black in me, and I feel bad, and I go to Lama or something and say, oh, I killed a cat and I'm so sorry, I want to purify. And the Lama says, oh, okay, you wash the whole monastery and you save the lives of cats and rats and whatever, then your negative karma will be gone. Or recite this mantra, and I do all that, and I think like as if first there is like a black things covered in my body, and as I accumulate positive karma, I feel I get more and more and more clean, you know. It's so good to do that. In this, you know, in this way, it's like I killed the cat today. It's a negative karma, but do I have it? No, it's nowhere. Do I get result? Yes, I get result in future. It's so bold. It's like really like a talk of a fearless person. I cannot handle it. So I like, oh, I do negative karma. It is on my mind. So I know where it is. It's here. So I do puja. I don't know, you know, do this thing, and now it's gone, you know, like that. That there is a coming and there is a going, and it's so good. Whereas Buddhas, you know, yeah. Yeah, this is anyway, let's see your questions. So, and also he says this, the whole sutra is so beautiful actually. He says, I'm reading from 1.14, you know, from 84,000 translation. Great King, the final consciousness is empty of final consciousness. The last moment of this life, yeah, it's empty of itself, meaning it doesn't truly exist actually. Transmigration after death is empty of transmigration after death. Transmigration after death is the first moment of sort of the next life, or the first moment belonging to that of next life. Action is empty of action. Action here means karma. Karma is empty of karma. The first consciousness is empty of the first consciousness. Birth is empty of birth. That being said, so he's basically saying the nature of all these are ultimate truth, meaning exists nowhere, to be honest. It's anyway, ultimate truth. But yet actions manifest without being lost. Yet the relative truth will continue though. The relative truth will be experienced. Karma will bring result. This is so brave. This is really, wow. Who can practice this? Nobody. You know, you will notice that. Look, be honest to yourself when you practice. You like it. You like it when you think karma is with me. You know, all my positive karma is with me. You know, you really like it. Yeah, and the stanzas are so beautiful. I'm not going to go into it today, but you know, maybe never. But it's really so good. Wow, you should really read it. You should really contemplate on this. Yeah, all of these are mere names. They abide only as notions set apart from their verbal designation, meaning aside from the names, what is designated does not exist. What is there other than the names? Yes, other than conceptualizations. By whatever names any phenomena are designated, they do not exist therein. This is the very nature of phenomena. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Please read. Anyway, Buddha gave this teaching, and then King Bimbisara of Magadha and the Bodhisattvas and the monks of the world with its gods, humans, asuras, gandharvas rejoiced and praised the words of the Bhagavan. This concludes the noble Mahayana Sutra, Transmigration through Existence. Yes. Right. I don't know what to do. So I will ask you, sort of let you ask questions. Maybe this will make it easier. I don't know. Please raise your virtual hand or talk to your translators. Gustavo Santiago raised hand. Wait, I don't see those who raised hand. I have it now on a gallery view, and maybe it is also recorded. So those of you who are very shy, don't want your faces to be seen by others, just know that it's being recorded, and it has to be shared. So you can always hide yourself, protect your data. Where is Gustavo? You raise your hand or what?
Yes, I'm here. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I was thinking about this argument that we are fixated on how form and matter works, and we use metaphors from this material world to explain mental things, and this is not really appropriate. But to me, in a way, it seems that it leaves like anything goes. Any explanation for mind is valid because we can't really access it and examine it. So like, okay, we say that there is nothing between the creation of karma and then the fruition of it, because it is a mental thing. So we don't understand it, so we accept it. I don't know. I of course I am too much fixated on matter and form, but could you say more about that?
Well, mind you can experience yourself, right? Everybody experiences their own mind, so it's quite easy. It's the karma is the problem to talk about. Mind is, who can deny experiencing something? Now, whether you believe it is your brain or your toe or whatever it is, but you do experience. So there is no, as long as you stick to that part, experiential part, then you can talk with anybody. Doesn't matter who it is, even if it's someone who says there is no mind. But you can say, but you do experience something, right? So then you can talk on that level, but it's the karma is the problem. So first thing is to go like this. You cannot talk about it directly, just like life after death. It's so difficult, you cannot, unless you see for yourself. How are you ever going to believe it? Life after death, that's such a similar to this with karma. So now the only way is to show that, look at all the favorable conditions, why there should be a karma. And then you ask your question, why there is no karma? When you weigh in, like same with the life after death, you know, when you analyze it, you should give it a 50-50 chance right in the beginning. So when you look at it, why is there a life? Because people always focus on this. Why is there life after death? I don't believe in life after death. Because why is there life after death? So then you went to the other extreme. Then the question can be easy. Why can there be no life after death? If someone asks, what would you do then? Just because you don't, you know. So when you ask the same question to both sides, why should there be a life after death? Why should not there be a life after death? Then you have to analyze now. And as you analyze, you will slowly notice more and more indication to life after death, at least in my experience, you know. You have more and more indication that, oh, there's probably a life after death. Somebody experienced something, somebody remembers something. You yourself, when you analyze, you know, even scientifically, there are things like instinct. They just call it instinct and leave it at that. There's no real explanation to it. Like Sakta Pandita said, one ordinary proof can be like any mammal when they are first born, you know, they most of the time they know that, you know, sort of, you just put a nipple into their mouth, they know that they have to start pulling, they have to start sucking. That is it, you know, like that. I don't know why, but he says things like that. And ordinarily we just say, oh, those are instinct. But what does it mean, you know? What does it mean? So when you really analyze like this, you find that there are actually more possibilities that they're probably. Same goes with the karma too, you know. Now the question is where the karma remains, and you said, oh well, then it becomes a bit chaotic, right? So anything goes, so to speak, you know. So then try to give an explanation to it. I'm just saying, the problem is that whatever explanation you give becomes faulty. Same goes with emptiness. You know, why nothing truly exists? Because anytime someone said, well, what about this? What about this? Have all problems, you know. So then you are left with just this answer that, well, you know what? I don't think anything truly exists. Like that, right? At some point you have to give up and say, okay, nothing truly exists. Same goes with karma. When you analyze, after the karma is done, and you say, oh, it's on the mind, it's on the whatever. Oh, there's, I'm sure you will get to study this more, you know. And yeah, it will be, or maybe you will like it. Why not? Maybe you will like teachings of some Madhyamika teachers when they say, well, karma you accumulate and it remains sort of, it leaves something on your mind, you know. And even in tantras is taught like this, many tantras, you know, not just mind, even sometimes ever, oh, that's too much. So like that, you know, so yeah, maybe you will like it, and why not? At the end of the day, you know, Buddha said, yeah, karma is empty of karma. So whether you say karma doesn't exist anywhere, or if you say like other Madhyamika teachers who say karma exists, not exist, but karma leaves imprint on the mind, or like Jamgon Tsongkhapa who says, well, karma is gone, but the cessation of the karma will remain on the mind, and this will continue, which is very much like saying the seed will remain in the karma, but in a different way. Whatever you say, why not? I mean, it works, why not? As long as you do not believe in a true existence of anything, I think it's okay, you know. But here, Buddha says just directly that it doesn't exist anywhere. And he's not talking about ultimate truth, right? You see that, you know, he says just that, it just doesn't exist, and there will be a result, and that's it, you know. It's a relative truth. Anyway, there's a lot of questions. So I go to the next, although it's very interesting. Rita Marie.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for your most precious teachings. This is really awesome, this kind of discussion. I was just wondering about the first question that you talked about, the self. Who goes from one life to another? Is there a consensus answer, Buddhist consensus answer to that? If there is no self, who goes from one life to another?
Nobody goes from this life to another. Sorry, your question finished?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
So I've been a bit of a rush. I see a lot of hands. Nobody goes from this life to another. No one has to go. No one can go. Everyone can exist for a moment, and that's it. No one, forget about next life. No one, you see me now, right? I cannot get off this chair. I cannot reach that door because this me is gone. While I'm talking to you, when I point to me now, it's gone. And you know, when my feet touches the ground is a different me. By the time I've reached the door, it's a different me, you know? So when it is in its gross form, it's easy to understand. When I say, I am not the 5-year-old me, everybody thinks, well, it's true. He's not a 5-year-old boy. He's a 36, 7 something. But then when I say, I'm not the person a moment ago, it's a bit problematic for us, you know. Actually, it's just the same thing. It's just one is a long gap, well, for us, and one is a very short gap, you know. You understand the change? Okay, if you believe impermanence, then you have to believe that nothing can exist for 2 consecutive moments. You exist for a moment, that's it. And then the next you is sort of there, and then the next you. In this way, so if you think like that, then yes, you cannot go to the next life. Nobody go to the next life. No one has to go to the next life. It's absurd to even ask such a question, you know, when you think in this way, you know. Yes. Okay. Eric, wait, I think there's some chat questions too, but Eric Souza, yes, you ask.
Oi, tô. Eu estava tentando terminar de formular aqui, porque como o Rinpoche foi falando, eu fui pensando outras coisas, assim. A minha reflexão é com relação ao seguinte, assim, o próprio Buda, durante ali as histórias que a gente foi ouvindo, ele fala sobre as vidas passadas dele, né? Que ele teve quando ele nasceu como aquele menino mega, quando ele ofereceu o corpo dele para a tigresa. E aí, quando ele purifica o karma e ele atinge esse estado búdico e ele vem aqui para o nosso benefício, ele consegue também ver o karma dos outros seres, assim, né? Ele consegue dizer, tu vai nascer em tal lugar, se fizer tal coisa e tal. E ele deu o exemplo novamente do sonho, assim. Então, a minha questão é se o karma e essas formas que a gente manifesta nos nossos renascimentos, elas têm muito a ver com o karma não ficando em lugar nenhum, né? Ele não existindo de fato. É a nossa fixação que faz com que a gente continue sonhando, como se a gente tivesse um sonho atrás do outro e a gente não conseguisse nunca acordar. Então, o karma ele não fica em lugar nenhum, mas o nosso sonho nunca termina, seria mais ou menos isso?
Oh, do I have to go to another channel? Who's translating?
You hear me, Rinpoche?
Yes, yes, yes.
Good. So Eric asked that I was saying that we heard that Buddha had the stories of Buddha of his past lives.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was the offering of his body to the tiger, and then he purified all his karma.
Mm-hmm.
He was enlightened,
Mm-hmm.
reached Buddhahood. And then when he achieves this, he can see the other being's karma. And he gives an example of a dream. So his question is, just a minute. We take forms depending on our karma for our rebirths. And but as karma doesn't remain anywhere, is it our fixation that makes us continue dreaming, and then because of this the karma remains? I don't know.
Well, yes. The moment you realize selflessness, all karma gone. Never existed. But it's difficult. Like I said, when I was talking about the sort of like doing Vajrasattva, then it feels nice. Oh, karma is going away. It's good because I like it. But actually, the real purification is me, if I would ever realize there was never a negative karma. Really realize, not just conceptually, but contemplate on that and really have some experience. Oh, you know what? It actually, I myself do not truly exist. How can my karma truly exist? Like that, really experience it. That is the real purification. For example, I'll just give example, right? So yes, the moment, what was his name? I forgot, it's gone.
Eric.
The moment Eric realizes, yes, he realizes, it's all exists because I am fixated on it. I believe it exists. So he sort of, not just like a realization, just like a mental realization, but he really sees that, if I let go, it all vanishes. Sort of not vanish, but it doesn't have any grip on me. Then he becomes free. There is no longer negative karma. It's like you said, I don't play this game anymore. You actually got up and you left. That's it. But that's difficult, right? Okay. There is a question. Sorry about this, Emilia, Pallavi, Nadia. Moment. There's a question. Hila asked questions. 2 questions. Are causes and conditions separate elements of karma? That is like saying children and parents different. Well, theoretically, yes, parents are the one who gave birth to the children. Children are the one who are born from. But parents are also children. Children are also parents, right? So it's like, sounds like that. But yes, causes and conditions are separate elements of karma. Practice is a karma. Practice is a cause. After you practice, you will get a result, and that will be the causes and condition, not cause and effect. I misunderstood. Causes and condition are separate. Yes, again, cause here refers to the main cause. So whatever sort of, for a lotus flower, the main cause is the lotus seed. Water, weather, all that is a condition. But a main, so here condition mean cause is in reference to the main cause, which is why actually it should be something like cause and conditions, not causes and conditions. But someone told me that you cannot do this. I don't know why, but I don't understand English, But actually, it should be like cause and conditions. So there's only one main cause for any phenomena. Wherever you look, there's only one main cause. And then there will be many different conditions. So ordinarily, we just call them all of the causes. That's like that. But in this sort of Buddhist sort of scriptural or sort of Indian sort of mentality, you cannot say that. It is cause and conditions, if it's possible, right? So that. If our last consciousness is the first consciousness of next life, is there a way to control it through? Yes, you can do power. You can do power and send your mind here and there, whatever. Really, I'm serious. You can do it. You can control it. Yes. Yes, Emilia.
Hi, Rinpoche. I have two questions. I don't know which one to start from. When Rinpoche talked about the purification, it actually resonated a lot with me, because I've been kind of contemplating on that. What is really the meaning of purification? You know, I think, I don't know, from what Rinpoche was teaching today, it really came to mind that it's all about applying reinforcing patterns. So karma is not that what I'm an action of now is really in the future, exactly that one is going to drive an effect, but it is all about developing patterns that either going to take one closer to the truth, and in that way reduce the manifestations and the displays and the projections towards liberation, or patterns that are doing the opposite. So if one is strengthening more patterns which are not okay, that is also going to drive other patterns. And if one starts to develop a lot of patterns of anger, then the way they experience their projections is angry, and that's just going to be a snowball, more and more and more and more. I don't know, so it's quite fluidic in a way, not a one-to-one relationship, not a database that stores and eventually there is a trigger. Okay, now this one is gonna, you know, the seed, and you are going to get the result. But totally, I'm using fluidic, I don't even know which words to use. And through these kind of cleansing, purification, prostrations and asking for blessings and so on, one eventually the thing just starts to dissolve more and more and more. I don't even know if it's a question, Rinpoche. That's one thing. Because this purification, I think it was this week, I was like, what's the meaning of this? Why am I doing this? What's the bottom line? What is it actually doing? And then this made more sense to me, as I've got to clean, I've got to reduce these projections, change the types of projections, and eventually there'll be no projections. And then I arrived. Then somehow I'm there. Okay. So that's one thing. And then it's a very specific question. If there is a connection, when we look at the last moment of this life and the first of the next life, are they a coexistence phenomena, or are they disjoint?
They're cause and effect.
They are cause and effect.
Yes, they don't exist together, no.
Okay.
So when one exists, the other do not, and when the another arises, the previous one is gone.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so there's no passing of the baton.
Not really, no. Well, that is the whole, that's why the Madhyamika teachers are surprised how anything works at all. How does shoot comes out of seed? They cannot understand it. How do anything do anything, you know? So it's just, because cause never meets the result, yet cause helps the result, you know. So anyway, this we'll talk, I think, a bit more in the next sutra, with this rice seedling sutra. Yes. Okay.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yes. Yes, Pallavi.
Hello, Rinpoche. Thank you for this. It's really mind-boggling, and my mind has gone into some other zone. So my question is basically, while we understand it's important to do the purification practice for any so-called bad deeds or do good deeds like generosity and the skillful means for to create and cultivate good karma, how do we practice and understand in the context of going beyond? Like where are we and how are we in context of going beyond good and bad in terms of day to day? Like, yeah, I mean,
this is you. I think what Atisha people say is really good. You just remind yourself throughout day, oh, it's just like a dream. Just like a dream. And that's it. You're getting used to going beyond now. You're not saying it's real, you're not saying it's unreal. It is like a dream, but it's not really a dream. So that's really good.
So we go beyond the clinging to the practices that we do for good or bad, but we have to do it anyway. Conventionally, we have to do it anyway, but still.
You mean your purification practice?
Purification or creating good deeds, conventionally, we have to do that anyways, right? Like,
yes.
So even when we do that, you mean to say that we have to understand the emptiness of both of these the practices for both of these deeds, and that is going beyond. Is that so?
Yes. Well, when you practice, let's say you study this now, right now, this sutra, and you understood. Well, after the karma is done, it doesn't stay somewhere. It's not like it is a dust that is on your dust or in your bag, and then you rub the bag and it falls down. Not like that. You understand that? Yet, you have to understand that, for example, in Vajrayana practices, you are asked to visualize the karma like a dark cloud and going out. These are skillful means. These are really skillful means, and it really helps purifying karma. It really helps.
That is also empty.
Huh?
That is also empty.
At the end of the day, everything is wrong. All of this is wrong. Whether you say karma doesn't exist anywhere, or you say karma remains on the mind, or like this, visualization, all mistaken, right? So, yeah. But keep thinking about this, but really, this is really a huge thing. It's a huge issue and topic. And yeah.
So if I may add, it's basically when you're doing any of these practices, either for good purification or creating good deeds, it's basically the emptiness of the person doing it and the object and the doing. So that is going beyond. Is that going beyond?
Yes, that is going beyond. Yes, it is objectless practice. So that's really good. That's why I said, then you look at it like a dream, the dream phenomena, experiencing, practicing. Everything is done. Because that's our capacity. It's not the fault of emptiness or the Buddhas. It's that we cannot do it. Like a schizophrenic person sees a snake, and you can shout at him, hey, there's no snake, you stupid, just relax. It doesn't help. So then you have to say, jump on the sofa, jump on the bed, now do a somersault, you're at the door, run away, close the door. And it works. Why did it work? Because this person really thinks there is a snake, and it's not the fault of the non-existent snake. It's nobody's fault, but it's just that the capacity is only there, only that. And then the means is like that, then yes, karma is on the mind, and you have to wash the karma, like you break the karma, hammer, whatever you do, it's your choice. Because that is, there is a snake, you see a snake, so you have to run away. Doesn't help somebody shouting at you, there is no snake, you will not believe it. Right. Welcome, Nadia Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Very interesting teaching today. I just wanted to, I don't know how to say it, but everything that I've been understand since from now, everything is conceptualized, obviously, because I have a mind. So everything I have in my mind that can explain some of the Buddha's teachings are misunderstood, right? It's not a correct way, it's not a correct understanding until we can see it like with a naked eye, for like with meditation structure, in a way that I remember to say that like a little cheap way to see reality in like a very cheap way, just with conceptualizations and with words. So how we cannot discourage with all these questions that are arousing in us. For example, karma I associated with movement, and that maybe is also a new mistake, because movement is to travel to one phenomena from point A to point B, and nothing can do that. Nothing is not one thing that like can move from A to point B. So that is impossible. So okay, how we can transfer karma? Maybe with the alaya, with the storehouse, we have a karma could be a possibility. And now you say that storehouse, it's gone. It's not non-existence also. So everything falls down in emptiness. Everything is falls down in emptiness again and again and again. And I don't know how to grasp that concept finally, because everything like is super tricky. Every concept is super tricky.
Today is not really talking about emptiness, by the way. Today, when the Buddha says the karma doesn't remain anywhere, but then there is a result at the end of the life, you see, he's talking about relative truth. He just, just that in that sense, saying karma remains somewhere and saying karma does not remain somewhere is both mistaken, because ultimately the nature is emptiness, Yeah. So I will really say this. Well, in realm of emptiness, you cannot say anything, whether karma is there or not there. Just choose what you feel comfortable with then, really. And or be like a meditator who's just so flexible. When you're practicing, when you're doing a practice that says visualize your bad karma and wash it, visualize it and wash it. No need to think why, where, when, just do it. And when the practice says there is no karma anywhere, just do it. There is no karma anywhere. Close your eyes, sit. That's also one really good way to do it, Both mistaken. So what is the problem? You still see a snake. So it's like saying, oh, don't worry about the snake. When you talk to a schizophrenic person, don't worry about the snake. It went under the sofa or it went out of the room. So you relax. Both is wrong, right? But, so just do it. It's no problem. Most of the time, it's just when you just do it, you see you can just really understand it,
But in that sense, everything will be possible, even like for the skillful means. I think that a meditator is like a very good artist, because you can change everything into practice. Now I get it more and more, because I understand that I have no correct view, so everything can work in this relative truth, right? So,
yes, well, this you have to be careful too. Like I said, nothing truly exists, but there is it's not really chaotic, or it's very much arranged chaos. Even if you, yes, so it's not that anything goes, then of course not.
Because you said that if you go to the door right now, you will not be the same as you are now talking, right?
That was about impermanence, yes. That's not about emptiness. No, I was not talking in terms of emptiness at all. Although impermanence is like a bite of emptiness, right? When you understand impermanence, you automatically are inside emptiness. There is nowhere to go.
Like a door to understand emptiness. So what is the door to understand karma?
What is door to understand karma? Cause and effect, like I said. Just this idea, you know, when you look at anywhere, anything you do, there is a result. Wind blows, there is a result. Some leaf is moving or bugs are blown. I don't know, there's always a result. When you yawn, your breath stinks, there's always a result, you know. So then why would you think, does it really make sense that when you have anger and attachment, there will be no result? Does it really make sense? Because that's also an action. That's also a movement, you know. Why can't it have a result? It's really just like that. So like I said, you can understand this in a sort of roundabout manner, because these things we cannot show anybody unless you remember your past life and stuff like that. It's not doable, you know.
The problem is the transmigration that makes me difficult to grasp the movement of to another place in time. That's the problem.
Oh, think about the Buddha then, really. Gosh, Nadia, don't worry.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Cool.
That'll work.
There's one last question here in the chat. Marie asks this question. Following Rita Marie's question, I understand that no person goes from this life to another. But what about the karma? How does it enter the new life? Yes, it doesn't enter new life. Nothing has to enter anywhere, really. And it's not emptiness. I'm not talking about it. It's just impermanence. Even just this. These two fingers, if I enact like a person walking, these two fingers that are here will never reach here. Impossible. The moment I do this, they're different. The moment I do this, it's impossible. They just, you understand. If the fingers that are here is the same with this, it should be here, not here. Totally different. Just impermanence, right? Just impermanence. Who I was arguing with one guy. He's dead now. Very he's a scientist, you know, and he was teaching us about waves. And I had issue with waves. I said, "What is waves?" And you know, it's so nice. And he would come to our rooms and sit there. He's an old man and he will fart so loudly. And we're like, oh, and he doesn't notice he's farting, you know, he just keep talking. I was like, gosh, I slowly get up to open my window. But, you know, he's a very intelligent, you know. So we're talking about things like that. And waves, for example. What is a wave, you know? And when he would talk about waves, it sounded like there is a phenomena called wave, you know, but it's not. Like, okay, what is simple for us to understand is like a water. It's impossible. There is no such. It's just a different sort of positioning of each moment of water, and that's it. And when we look at it, we are the stupid ones. We take them together and create this thing. It is the fault of our eyes. It cannot see the particles, cannot see the minute details, you know. Our eyes, just gosh, it's really the first door of ignorance, right? It's like a bad camera that makes you look good, you know, when you take picture in bad camera. I used to look so good when the phone's camera was bad. Now it's better and better. I see all the pores and the what not, you know, like that. Yeah, what was I saying? Yes, so yeah, things when you contemplate impermanence, it will become like this. This is the subtle impermanence now. Subtle impermanence is just like a very thin paper. Little push, it will break and into emptiness. That's it. Gosh. All right, then. Right. I think that's about it. Now we have the last sutra remaining. I'm not happy about today's talk actually, because I myself have so many questions now, and it's just yeah, but let's say it's done. But I really hope you will continue thinking about this, contemplating, asking questions to your teachers and friends or whatever, you know. Discuss, don't always discuss like what is it, mask, no mask, vaccination, war, no, whatever, you know. Don't always do that. Sometimes sit with your friends. Oh, I want to talk about, especially if he's Buddhist friends, talk about karma like this, discuss this. Right, thank you so much. Take care of yourself, and thank you to the translators. You know, I know how much you guys are working. It's really appreciate you guys. And yes, we are also uploading the videos of each sessions, actually in each languages on YouTube. Some are public, only the English versions are made public. But those of you who want Spanish, Portuguese, or German, you can just contact us, you know, because or else it just YouTube becomes like a Indian like vegetable market, you know. Everything there is the fish and onion, you know. So we have to like clean it. I do miss it though, but I'm just saying, you know. So we have to do that. Yeah. All right, take care. I'll make a dedication. Please dedicate the merit. Sonam di tamji zigbani tomnenye bedana pamji di jagana ji balon tu bay sibe zolan ro warash changju sim joram boche maje banam je badan je banyam bamme bayan gone kondu pel warashu jambal pawe jegaratem bana kundu zambo de ande jin dada kunji jesu dhalok jin gewa deda tamji rabdo. May I in all my lives carry far